Ahoy, shipmates! Welcome to the Dits on Wrestling podcast, the Royal Navy's only pro wrestling pod, and you are here for some more GM mode action, and this time it is night one of Friday Night Smackdown with your Smackdown General Manager Dits. And unfortunately, I have to have somebody else along with me for the ride, and you just heard the boos from said individual. It is Anthony, the Raw General Manager. Hello, Anthony. How are you doing? Blah blah blah.
I'm good. I'm actually a spotlight was on me on Monday.
It was. You managed to get a lot of talking in without me really interjecting. So
I did. Yeah, you were surprisingly silent. It was a blessing in disguise for me, but more like a blessing outright and out front. But no, you were enthralled in the show. We spoke about it, and we spoke about it after, and talked about it offline before this. And I am now equally excited for what you got cooking, and I'm also excited to be able to just sit and be the spectator on this one and just kind of coast and, watch you put the belt on, I don't know, someone terrible, like watch Apollo Crews be a double champ. I think that'll be super awesome. I'm excited to see that. But no, I'm, I like your roster. I like who you drafted. I know you're going to speak about it a bit. You took some guys that I wanted. And I'm excited to see what you do, and I'm excited to just kind of sit and be along for the ride.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one, I think. It's going to be good. Prepare to be sports entertained.
Ooh.
That could
good
be
phrasing.
That can just be my tagline for SmackDown.
It could be.
It won't factor into the theme song in any way because it doesn't fit that kind of mood.
Just edit that into it. Just find a song that's like a hard rock song about sports entertainment. Like if Metallica did a song about sports entertainment, like that would be it.
It works for me. It works for me. Of course, you did your show on Monday, so if you haven't checked that out, then go and do so. We don't really have any major impact on each other's shows unless it includes the Women's Tag Team Champions, because, of course, they roam, so we have to take that into account. But apart from that, really, your Raw show didn't impact mine, because we'd already written things. Correct. Coming into this, we didn't actually know what either of us had done, but now we know the direction. Well, at least I know the direction that you're going in. You're about to find out what direction I'm taking my show. It could potentially change things, because I know it's not an official competition between the two of us, but we're going to probably play it that way anyway, deep down.
Got to battle for ratings, and gotta grab those key demos. Even though we're on different nights, we're gonna compete. And so if I have to, like the Monday Night Wars, sometimes you got to adjust your product to stay in line, stay in competition, stay on top, and whatever I have to do to torpedo the shit out of your show, I will do that. And that's also an even better phrase, because that's a nautical term, because torpedoes are like a water thing. So yeah. Hashtag Navy, am I right?
Am I right? Come on.
Come on, guys, right? Everybody gets it, right? Torpedoes, right?
Your hands up in the air waiting for a high five that's just not going to happen.
Come on, guys, right? Torpedoes. Water terminology, right? Nautical stuff. Yeah. Waves. I'm going to make too many waves with this joke. Get it?
Oh, Jesus.
Slimming terminology.
It's a good job you're not really doing that much talking today.
Let me backstroke away from that joke, am I right? Let's get ready to dive on into this episode.
Oh, God.
Hoist the sails! Submarines!
You're a dick.
Aircraft carriers!
Fishing boats.
Typhoons. Oh, see, there you go. It's fun to join in. Sharks.
No.
Anything in water is good. It all works.
No.
Whales.
Draw the line at sharks.
Moby Dick.
Moby Dick.
Captain Ahab. Queequeg's coffin.
I've been trying to figure out what... I've been hearing a noise outside of my headphones for like the last 30 minutes. I've actually just realized what it is.
That's
it's
terrifying.
Absolutely pissing it down.
Wasn't
That's water-based. That's to do with water.
Yeah. Huh. Rain is water-based, so is piss. There you go. Nautical terms. You had a ghost in one of your recent live streams, if I remember correctly.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. I'm just going to briefly talk about that, because that was bizarre. I was obviously just chatting away. I was talking about Escobar and how he should, even though he's Cruiserweight champion, he could benefit from kind of stepping away from that division a little bit and enter himself into like main event stuff. Maybe not main event, but just like upper mid card kind of stuff. And the light flickered. Oof. But it wasn't just like a flick. It was like a off on. I was like, okay, that was weird. And then about
the Undertaker.
2 minutes later, it was 2 minutes later, I noticed that my phone light had turned on all on its own. Yeah, it was very strange. And then a whole host of moths then entered the room.
Is that so
it was like Silence of the Lambs in this fucking place.
Yeah. A whole host of moths.
Like I've actually tried to go back. Obviously, the streams are 2 hours long because they're live watch-alongs. But I tried to like skim through to see if I could find the actual moments where I was ducking and diving, trying to dodge these fucking moths, because my iMac is obviously firing out some bright light.
Oh yeah, so they're just
they like to have sex with light. So this thing was coming at it, but in doing so, it was also going around me, which I didn't appreciate.
Do they have sex with the lights? Or like in the light? I thought they just liked the light.
Well, I don't know.
Is that what they do? Oh, I thought it was actual science thing. I was like, oh, that's gross. Is that what they're doing with in the lights? That's worse than what I thought.
That's disgusting.
The moths are procreating in the light? Gross.
I fucking hate moths. Just for the
and record. With that said, welcome to SmackDown! Yeah. Moths!
But yes,
Moth
yes. Yes, there's going to be a lot of moths on Ye Olde SmackDown. I nearly drafted a moth, actually, to SmackDown.
Riddick, more like Riddick Moth, am I right?
Oh, my God.
Get it? Because it's like Riddick Moth.
I could bring Leo Rush back. He was some kind of moth-based gimmick type thing.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah.
Oh. He's kind of a dick, though.
Yeah, he is. Especially now. But anyway, we had the draft on Saturday, and I... everything aside, we had the draft on Saturday, and I was able to put together my team, my crew, and I was pretty happy with how it all panned out. I drafted, obviously, pre-draft trade that we did. I gained Drew McIntyre and Apollo Crews, as you were all aware by now, having listened to both the draft and your show on Monday, and I also gained the Undisputed Era, so there you go. So on top of that, I had Bray Wyatt, Cameron Grimes, every time, Kevin Owens, Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Tommaso Ciampa, Edge, Sami Zayn, and Bobby Lashley with MVP.
It's a good... I mean this I don't mean this as a disparaging remark whatsoever, but that roster is 1,000% a sports entertainment roster.
I don't know.
No, I don't mean that negatively at all. Like, it just fits, like, the direction you're going in. Like, I feel like you draft... I mean, as you should, as I did. But I feel like you drafted... That's part of the anticipation I have in seeing where your show goes. I feel like you drafted for a specific direction of where you want things to go. And as you should, as any good GM should. I'm very excited.
I'm insulted.
You shouldn't be. You're the one who called it that.
I did, actually. I just said prepare to be sports entertained, so I guess...
Yeah, you just said you're going to make that your tagline. I don't understand how you're offended by it.
Tagline. It's my tagline. But really, that's all there is to know in the grand scheme of things.
It's a good roster. It's an established roster. You took... I had Bray Wyatt on my list. I had Kevin Owens on my list. I flirted with the idea of Daniel Bryan. I flirted with the idea of Brock Lesnar. And then I had Edge. I didn't think you'd take Edge, but you did.
To be fair, I only took Edge because you took Seth Rollins or Samoa Joe, one or the other.
Oh, that's right.
So you forced my hand there. He wasn't originally in my 10.
Sorry.
Yeah, asshole.
Sorry. And then you took Lashley because you were cool. You're like, do I get MVP if I take Lashley? I was like, yeah. And you were like, boom.
I'll have him.
I
like what they've got going on at the moment, so I can hopefully work some magic with that. Should we get into it? Should we get into SmackDown this week?
I don't think so. No one's here for that.
And that is it. Use your imagination.
Thank you for joining us.
I've told you the roster, then you can make it up yourself. Away you go.
that would be awesome. I told you the roster, and make it up as you go. See you next week.
Just fill me in the DMs. Let me know what happened.
Yeah, I was going to say, message me what you think happened, and I'll tell you if you're right.
But anyway, into SmackDown. We're actually starting things off with a GM's address.
Oh.
Feeding into the sports entertainment side of things. And here it is, the GM's address. And I'm going to do this into the microphone.
like I talked to Meltzer.
In typical Anthony fashion. No, I'm not going to do it because it'd be very off-putting. I will just giggle my ass through this thing. Right, okay, so here we go. SmackDown has had its fair share of ups and downs throughout its history, and I have to admit, we're almost at the lowest of the low. As SmackDown general manager, it is my duty to drag SmackDown back into relevancy and make it the A show that it has every right to be. Tonight, we'll see a fresh start for many superstars, and it is up to every wrestler on this roster to prove to me that you belong amongst the best that WWE has to offer. This does not exclude the WWE Champion, Drew. You will need to prove to me that you deserve to be the face of this brand. There are plenty of people lined up behind you who are willing to take your spot. Tonight, right here on SmackDown, it will be Drew McIntyre facing off against Sheamus. It's Claymore Kick versus Brogue Kick. And to really prove that you're willing to do whatever it takes to put your money where your mouth is, the WWE Championship will be on the line.
Ooh, kicks versus kicks.
That's how we kick off SmackDown this week. And we don't kick off with a match, actually, this week. We're kicking off with a promo.
Oh.
And we get a wail of a guitar going through the arena. It is Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman heading down to the ring. And Heyman says it's good to be back in Brock Lesnar's original stomping grounds from when he originally started back in WWE, but bemoans the draft placement. He was drafted at number 5, I believe. Let me just check, just to confirm. 1, 2, number 4 actually.
4.
He was drafted at number 4, so I don't.
Still not number 1 though.
You know, he shouldn't be complaining at that. To be fair, the last draft he was number 1, I believe, for SmackDown.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, whenever that was. So he
Off
has
of 8.
dropped, but the effort marks the placement, I'm afraid, Brock. So screw you. Paul Heyman talks about how Brock Lesnar is always a prime target because people want the biggest beasts as hunting trophies, but there's one individual who needs to tread carefully. Heyman closes that hunter is about to become the hunted.
Oh. Let the hunt begin.
But who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Nick Moss.
Trade. We're going to match 1. Bobby Lashley versus Shorty G. A debuting Lashley looks incredibly aggressive from the opening bell. Shorty G gets little offense in and finds himself on the receiving end of a devastating spear to lose the match by pinfall. Following the match, Lashley mocks his height and throws around his limp body. MVP eventually pulls Lashley away from Shorty as he heads backstage, humiliated.
Oh,
we
man.
go to commercial.
Was that a pun that you said Shorty G got in little offense?
No,
I really hope it was.
No, but I guess. Yes, it was. Yes, it absolutely was. We go to commercial and we come back and we're backstage where Shorty G is given an interview by Kayla and says he's never. Says he's never felt so low in his wrestling career.
Well done.
See, that one was a pun. He's sick of the constant jibes about his height, and the best way to overcome the bullies is to focus on what he can do better than most: out-wrestle you. You don't need height to run rings around those inferior to you, so next week, they better watch out for Chad Gable.
Oh, he's ditching the Shorty G.
Fucking right. Get rid of that.
Poor bastard.
Lowest
of the low, that sucks.
We remain backstage, but we go to the parking lot area where Kevin Owens has just arrived at the show and is greeted by none other than Miz and Morrison. Oof. They welcome him to their show and boast that there's only room for one WWE talk show here on SmackDown, and that is Miz TV. Miz mentions that the GM, that's me, wants everybody to prove themselves on this brand, and tonight he will prove that Miz TV will remain the most must-see WWE talk show in history by having a very special guest, Kevin Owens.
Ooh.
And that will go down later on in the evening.
Ooh.
Match 2. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Cameron Grimes will face off.
Cameron Grimes
versus Bo Dallas.
Oh, boy.
Following his move from NXT.
Oh, sorry, I'm excited. I'm excited for what I hope this could be.
Following his move from NXT, Grimes is out to make a statement tonight and dominates the match. A cocky Grimes eventually becomes complacent and gives Bo a window to get back into the match. There's some back and forth, but a mistake by Ballas. Get on, Ballas.
Ballas,
Bo Ballas.
Bo Ballas. Cam Ballas. Ryan Ballas.
Bo Ballas.
Ballas. Doe Ballas.
Oh, God. Bo Ballas. I could change his name as well. I'm GM.
You can do it. You can do whatever the fuck you want, man. New gimmick. Bo Ballas.
Tonight's Cameron Grimes versus Bo Ballas.
I feel like we're laughing more than we should. Bo Ballas. Did you write Ballas or did you mispronounce it?
Mispronounced it.
I wish you wrote it. Oh, man. Oh, my face hurts. Bo Ballas. Oh, man, you're super red.
I'm so sorry. Oh, Bo Ballas.
My face hurts.
Are you not sports entertained? This is what SmackDown gives you.
Oh, man, Ocean's 11. Good quote.
Oh, anyway, there's some back and forth, but a mistake by Dallas allows Grimes to hit the cave-in for the victory. Post-match, Grimes offers a hand to Bo, but pulls it away as Bo goes to shake it.
Oh, dick.
Grimes? What the fuck is wrong with me?
What are you doing, man?
What are you doing? Grimes.
Cameron Grimes.
What the fuck is going on? Grimes cackles like he does. And Bo pushes him. Grimes returns the favor, and they end up getting into blows. Suddenly, the lights go out.
Oh, yes.
And after a time, a glitchy, haunting version of the Firefly Funhouse theme begins to play. A spotlight is shone onto both Grimes and Dallas in the darkness, who look scared shitless, as you would. You then see Funhouse Bray up on the Titantron, laughing his arse off, like he does. And then a spotlight then shines onto a rocking chair, which has appeared on the stage, with a lantern beside it.
Yes.
Grimes and Dallas are still shitting it, and then we get the famous blah to end the segment.
Yes! Give us what we want!
Give the people what they want. They want Bo Ballas and Cameron Grimes.
Give me Grimes and Ballas.
Grimes and Ballas.
In the what? In the Wyatt family.
Fucking hell. All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I like that one. We then go backstage, and Mandy Rose is being called in to speak to the SmackDown GM. That's me. He reiterates his point of the need for everybody to prove themselves, and he's going to give Mandy that chance tonight in non-title competition against Bayley. SummerSlam is on the horizon, so a win tonight could see you on that card in a title match, he said. And then we go straight into that. Match 3. SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley, with Sasha Banks, versus Mandy Rose. Bayley toys with Mandy at the start, with Sasha Banks egging her on, as she does. Eventually, Mandy has enough, slaps Bayley, and gets herself on top in the match. It turns into a back and forth, with Mandy hitting her finisher, but then Sasha starts making her presence known and jumps onto the apron. The ref then goes to have words with Sasha, and while she's distracted, Sonya Deville hits Mandy with a roundhouse kick and then rolls out of the ring. Bayley recovers from being hit by Mandy's finisher and crawls over, and then the ref counts to 3. As Bayley and Sasha celebrate up the ramp, Sonya returns to the ring and locks in a triangle armbar on Mandy. The ref eventually gets her off of Rose, but Sonya stands over Rose, saying that this is how you prove yourself.
Oh, statement.
Boom. I'm sticking with Mandy versus Sonya because that shit is money.
Okay.
More so Sonya, to be honest with you. But hey. Then we get a little advertisement for next week. Next week on SmackDown, we'll see the end of the rivalry of the year, as Randy Orton will face a returning Edge inside of a steel cage.
Oh. And
also next week, the New Day will be issuing an open challenge next week for the Tag Team Championships.
Oh.
That's all next
Foreshadowing.
week.
Okay.
Then we go backstage. We find Jeff Hardy and Daniel Bryan talking to each other about the steel cage match next week, and both express concern for Edge's well-being, with Daniel Bryan anxious that we might see Edge hit with another career-ending injury. Says he will have his eye on this match.
Oh. Intriguing.
Yes, very intriguing. We go down to the ring when the set for Miz TV is set up, and Miz and Morrison welcome everybody to Miz TV and boast about how long it's been around and how successful it's been. And then they slam the KO show for being a poor man's Miz TV before welcoming the man behind said show to the ring. Kev comes out with his KO show stand in hand and places it behind his chair when he gets into the ring. Miz puts down KO and his failings as a talk show host before getting personal. Asks why he even bothered to show up tonight, as he hasn't been relevant since he defeated Cena on his main roster debut all those years ago. He's become a nobody, clawing at anything so he can have some spotlight, including ripping off Miz TV. It's time to go home and call it a day, as SmackDown doesn't accept mediocrity. So Owens, bit pissed off about all that, attacks Miz and Morrison, but falls to the numbers game. As he's getting beaten down, a familiar theme song hits the sound system, and Sami Zayn makes his way to the ring. Now that COVID is eliminated and he has no concerns, he is here. He evens the odds and hits Miz and Morrison with back-to-back Haluva kicks. Owens, now recovered, plants Miz's head through the KO sign, the KO show sign, and stands tall with Sami Zayn, both raising each other's arms in celebration before sharing a man hug.
Wow.
There you go. That is sports entertainment.
That is. Are you not sports entertained?
Match number 4. Matt Riddle versus Baron Corbin. Matt Riddle's been at odds with Corbin for a few weeks and finally gets his hands on him in the ring. Riddle starts strong, but Corbin hits a deep 6 out of nowhere to change the course of the match. Corbin keeps Riddle grounded, but a misplaced clothesline puts Riddle in the driving seat. Riddle goes through his signature moves, and a rocked Corbin escapes to the timekeeper's area to recover. Riddle goes to get him, but Corbin clocks him with his scepter, and Riddle picks up the DQ victory. Still rocked, Corbin escapes up the ramp, but is cut off by moi, the SmackDown general manager. I say to Corbin,
wow,
if you want to start throwing weapons around, you can face Riddle again next week in a no DQ match.
Ooh,
Corbin is displeased, but a pissed off Riddle shows his appreciation for the announcement. He's ready to get his own back.
Look at you, just throwing yourself on TV, getting yourself over with the fans. I like it. Yeah. Calling Mandy Rose into your office? Okay.
Why wouldn't you?
Flexing the GM arms. I get it.
That's what I do. We go backstage and we see both Sheamus and McIntyre preparing for their match. And I go to visit Drew. I say that it's nothing personal, and he should look at it as an opportunity to start off on the right foot. There you go.
I'm just picturing you on TV in like a suit walking up to Drew McIntyre and being like, hey, Drew.
What's up?
Not personal.
How's it going? Match 5, the main event. We have Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus for the WWE Championship. A battle of two bruisers is closing the show, with neither wrestler really getting the upper hand throughout the course of it. Sheamus hits a top rope I can't even speak. Sheamus hits a top rope white noise, not nose, for a near fall. And the
white nose. Oh, he's got a vintage Sheamus, the white nose.
So Sheamus hits a top rope white nose. for a near fall, and with some frustration, he locks in the Texas Cloverleaf. McIntyre's in the move for about 2 minutes and looks like he's about to pass out, but is able to make it to the ropes. Despite being absolutely gassed from being locked in that submission, Drew is able to dodge a brogue kick and hit a Glasgow kiss for a near fall. Sheamus finds himself back on top after a brutal Irish curse backbreaker and nearly wins the title. Drew's back is in tatters following the barrage of Sheamus' signature moves, but a cocky Sheamus opens him up to a future shock DDT. With Sheamus shook, Drew hits the Claymore to retain the title. But it doesn't end there.
I knew it.
Drew McIntyre celebrates his hard-fought victory and does his signature Raw thing that he does on the top rope where he goes, ah! You know the thing. You don't like it, do you?
I don't like it. I hate it.
I like it. However, you're going to like this. As he comes down off those ropes, he turns around and there are 3 figures stood in the opposite corner.
Yes.
It's Bobby Fish. It's Kyle O'Reilly. And it's Roderick Strong.
Oh, boy.
And they're all grinning as McIntyre goes to confront them. And as he gets close, he's then clocked from behind by Adam Cole. All 4 beat him down and then hold up Drew to receive a super kick from Adam Cole. And with McIntyre downed, Adam Cole raises the WWE title above his head whilst towering over Drew. Copyright. No rights reserved. Boom. End of show. That's SmackDown Night 1 in a nutshell, baby.
Cameron Grimes. Bo Ballas and Cameron Grimes stole the show. I like it.
Yeah.
I forgot about Undisputed Era until you came to the end.
Do you get the callback? Do you get the little throwback, callback, whatever you want to call it?
For Undisputed Era? Yeah, like when they debuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I thought that was some clever shit.
Minus they didn't have Roddy at the time.
No.
But I like it.
Yeah.
I forgot who did they do that against?
It was Drew.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was Drew, right?
Yeah.
I was like, am I remembering that incorrectly? Am I crazy? Nice, I like it. Yeah. Just like how they did in NXT in Brooklyn. Ooh, way to bring it full circle.
Exactly. Continuity.
Interesting. A first for SmackDown in a very long time.
Yeah. But no, like I was pretty chuffed. It was like you said, it was very sports entertaining.
It was. I like the. I was waiting for the, not to skim over the rest of the show or not pay attention to it, but I was, after things we discussed during the draft, I'm just waiting. I was like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen with Bray Wyatt and Cameron Grimes and everything? I like how you a laughing Bray in the funhouse. We get a little rocking chair, and then we get the bleh! Cuts out. I like that. Ooh, I like that. I wonder who Brock is hunting. Who is Brock hunting? Probably going to be Apollo Crews because that U.S. title is super.
You may want to tune in next week to find out.
Oh, more continuity. Oh, I like it. I like the ending. That's a good ending. Ooh, thrust Adam Cole and Undisputed Era into that picture.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Do you want versus Edge next week? Steel Cage to finish their feud?
But Daniel Bryan's got an eye on it.
He does.
Not even just both eyes, just one.
Just one.
Which is interesting. What's the other eye doing?
Yeah, well, he just lost in a tangent of a a separate fantasy booked universe, an eye for an eye match with Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
He's only got one eye now.
That was probably done in that fantasy booking on that podcast we stole this idea from.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those guys. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Poor Mandy. I like it. Good show. Good start. I am also very intrigued by how I did not once think of interjecting myself into the storylines, and you have made yourself a readily available character. I like it.
Yeah.
Full on authority figure. Yeah, I like it.
It's about time we had some authority on, well, Raw and SmackDown, to be fair.
This is true. Hopefully you can fill the shoes that Teddy Long has been filling for the longest time.
Yeah, the longest reigning general manager.
Yeah, I think he's had the most reigns, too.
Holla, holla, holla.
I like it. It's a good show.
Didn't have a tag match tonight, though.
True.
So maybe I'm not quite there.
But you do have a challenge next week.
That is true. I do have the tag titles on the line next week.
Ooh, against who?
As do you.
I do.
So you had your top title defended this week.
I had. We both defended our main titles in the main event. You retained yours with Drew McIntyre because, of course, the WWE Championship and Drew McIntyre both have prestige. I changed mine, and Braun lost to Walter because Braun and that Universal title are a joke. As in the fact that he was... Think about that. You traded Braun essentially for Apollo Crews and didn't even put Apollo Crews on your first show. That's how little the Universal title matters to this man and in this universe.
Yeah.
Shame. That's what Walter was fucking talking about.
Yeah. Ooh, kind of overlooked Apollo there.
I mean...
Oops.
Should you not have? No offense.
No, I did want to fit him in because he is a champion, and it was like night one of... even if it was like a backstage thing. So I could have really just had him talking to Bryan instead of Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy has history with Edge, so I thought there was a bit of continuity there.
He does, a little bit. The Hardy Edge connection. We're just mispronouncing things left and right on this one.
Oh, that was bad, man.
That was really funny. I loved it. Funny. That made me laugh.
It made it.
It was great. It makes it even better. He needs a name change. It better be Bo Ballas. If he joins the Wyatt family, it needs to be Bo Ballas. If you join, I'll be Cameron Grimes. But I like it. Set the tone. You went with more foundational story setting. I guess I did as well, but I incorporated mine, I think, more into match things, and did a little more, not giveaway, but more delivery on night one, whereas you went for more of the long con and more things. I went with the long con and some other things in smaller amounts. So it's very interesting. It was a good sports entertainment.
It's very hard to book for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's where I was, and I was like, there's so many things I was just going to leave. Like, the whole Wyatt family thing wouldn't have even been a thing this week.
Oh, you son of a bitch, it better be a thing. I was looking forward to it so much.
So I was like, I'm going to leave that until next week. And I was like, well, I only have 5 weeks here to really build this thing up. If they have a match at SummerSlam in some way, if they even feature at SummerSlam. So...
I would have booed the fuck out of this show had there been no Wyatt family action. I was waiting for it.
What the fuck? To be fair, Wyatt was my number one pick, so I could not have him on. So and Cameron Grimes was my second, so it's only right. And Bo Ballas appeared on TV for the first time in God knows how long.
He did, and he's got a new name.
Bo Ballas.
Bo Ballas. I like how you brought the draft into some storyline. Brock not being thrilled that he was fourth. Poor Shorty G gets his original name back.
Yes.
After he got thrown around his lifeless body, he got tossed around by Bobby Lashley. I just picture an unconscious Chad Gable just being thrown all around by Bobby Lashley. Poor Gable. Poor bastard.
You only have to feel sorry for him, though, for now. Back to basics next week.
Oh, he can run rings around people. So you said
he can. He's a great wrestler.
He is. He's actually a very tremendous wrestler. It's a shame that he gets pigeonholed into a fucking joke role instead of being allowed to succeed at what he does best.
But not anymore.
Not anymore. I debated taking him with my 10th pick instead of Cesaro, but I obviously went with Cesaro. Yeah. Oh. But I took Cesaro because of where I'm going to fit him in storyline things. But I contemplated Chad Gable. I legit think Chad Gable's like a really, 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 really good wrestler.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like super underrated. Like if they gave him some kind of something to just that Shorty G thing just delegitimize. He should have won the King of the Ring. Like I just can't believe he lost it and they gave him Shorty G. Thank God you got the reins now. I have Roman. I have reins. Yeah, but you got SmackDown.
I'll make it right. I'll make it right.
More like you'll make it rains. Get it?
You are full of them today.
Get it? It's like, get it?
When it rains, it pours. Get it? Fucking hell. I laughed more at that than I did the Meltzer stuff for the worst backlash ever.
Yeah, I came close. Yeah, my face hurt with the Bo Ballas. I mean, it's so stupid. It's such a stupid thing to laugh at, but it was just so funny. I don't know why. Ballas.
Bo Ballas.
I don't know why it's so funny.
Bo Ballas.
But it was a good show. I like where your head's at. I like where you're starting out. Yeah. I also like it's a different direction, a different style than mine. So I'm very interested to see what people think and where we end up, especially because we're both going to be on SummerSlam.
Yeah. And we are actually, we do want this to be an interactive thing. So
we do.
Hit us up on Twitter at Dits on Wrestling and at Wagons_Warpaths. We do want to hear how you think that we're doing the booking, what you would have done differently with the rosters that are available. We are curious. We're interested in other people's takes as well as our own.
Yeah, we are.
But I'm excited to do this again next week.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
And we have more time as well.
That we do. We were going on somewhat of a short week, not to give everybody too much of a peek behind the curtain there, but we were going on somewhat of a short week between the draft and the actual first episodes for us. So yeah, now we get some more time. Get to let this first episode kind of breathe a little bit, and then maybe potentially see some reactions from some fans, see what's going on there, see if everybody likes some things, dislikes some things, if everybody's really hitching their wagon to Bo Ballas. We go from there. I'm excited. I'm excited for the time. I'm excited for the turnaround. I honestly just enjoy the shit out of this. I think this was really... We've had this idea, and we've spoken about it a lot on several episodes for like months now. But this is something that we had lined up. It is another brainchild of Dits, and I was super on board with it. And I know you've given me some credit, and I've added some detail and some things to it, and including the larger thing that this eventually will connect to, which we are keeping under wraps for now.
Until the SummerSlam finale of this series.
Till the finale.
Stand by.
And yeah, stand by. But it's funny shit. I enjoy... I don't know. This is nerdy stuff, and I'm a nerd, and I like doing this, and I'm having a good time.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I have, either, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought much like we said. I thought I would be sitting there being like, fuck, I got to do this fucking show. But then I started doing my first match, and I was like, ooh.
So I was like, I'm enjoying this show, even though, like, I'm putting it together. I was like, I'm enjoying this. Like, why is this not on TV?
Yes, I was doing the same thing. I was like, why can't this be Raw?
If I do say so myself.
If only.
And I got so excited that I put myself in the bloody show.
You put yourself into the show a pretty good amount.
I think I made 5 appearances overall.
Made a lot. Some very key ones. On TV twice. Oh, you opened the show.
I did.
You interjected in a match with Corbin in the middle. Yeah.
Every week will be a GM's address.
Wow.
Yeah.
This guy's feeling himself over here. I'm going to have to make a GM address. Nah, I won't. I didn't even think of that. That didn't even cross my mind. I'm more of a behind-the-scenes guy.
Yeah, you're the Regal to my Bischoff.
Yeah, I'm not coming on stage until something like goes super sideways, and I have to rein everybody in and be like, "Hey, you guys stop your shit." Just like that. That's what I'd say. I'd be like, "Hey," and then I'd go right backstage.
Just point a finger and that's it.
Yeah, it's exactly. I'd be like, "You stop that." Stop.
I'm doing that as if other people can see what I'm on camera to you, but nobody else can see that.
He's pointing like
the monkey point from Family Guy.
Yeah, exactly, like the monkey that lives in Chris's closet. That's exactly what it's like. Just pointing, just disparagingly. Hey, stop it! You settle. You settle the fuck down. You settle down right now. That's what I would do. Just come out and just do that into the mic, real quiet. Let's see what also speaking of that and little quiet voice in the mic, I wonder what the Melts is going to give these shows.
Yes.
I'll have to reach out to them. Our moms are hanging out this weekend. They're doing a little shopping at Christmas Tree Shop. It's a store out here in America.
Christmas Tree Shop.
It's a real thing.
In July?
They sell stuff all year round. It's not just Christmas trees, but it's called Christmas Tree Shop. I thought the same thing. We went there once, me and my fiance. Yeah, me and my fiance went there actually in July, many, many years ago. She was like, "Oh, we should stop by Christmas Tree Shop." I was like, "We don't need any fucking Christmas tree stuff." And she's like, "No, it's not just a Christmas store." I was like, "So it doesn't just sell Christmas trees?" And she was like, "No." And I'm like, "It's not just a Christmas themed store?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, that's super fucking misleading."
What else do they do?
They sell all kinds of. It's like a more like crafty or like kitschy type of like Target. I don't know what stores you guys have in England.
I know Target.
Yeah, so it's like Target, but like different.
And Christmas trees.
Yeah, it's weird. It'd be like, oh, I'm going to Burger King. Oh, can we get a burger? No, they don't just, well, I guess that makes sense. They don't just have burgers at Burger King. But that's like the main thing of that's the main crux of everything.
Go to a sushi bar and they sell fried chicken.
Fireworks. Oh, okay, yeah, fried chicken. Cameron Graves.
Bo Ballas is all over that fried chicken at a sushi restaurant.
No, of course. That's what he's
fan.
just sitting there. You can tell.
Big
he has
fan.
full definition. He's getting that fried chicken all day.
Cameron Graves.
Cameron Graves.
Good God. Well, that's Friday's Night SmackDown in the books. Night 1.
Better than the real
one. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm in this now. I'm invested. I'm ready to see where this goes. And of course, you are next up. So you only have to wait 1, 2, 3 days until Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That was really bad maths.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really. This is
I'm not really with it. I mean, I guess it is like 2:00 in the morning here, so I can be excused.
Yeah.
And there's ghosts and shit in here.
There is. There's ghosts. There's moths. There's lights. There's the Undertaker. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant place to be, really.
No, it can be a scary place.
Yeah,
a haunted place.
Very haunted.
Terrible place. Terrible place.
But yeah, like GM mode is officially really kickstarting now. Both Night 1 shows are in the bag. The draft is already done. That's way down in our rear view mirrors. But we march on to Night 2 of Monday Night Raw. So I guess it's time to get some plugs out of the way. And as always, I start with you.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Anthony. I'm the co-host, weekly co-host here on the Dow Pod, the Raw GM in this GM mode series. And I'm also the host of my own solo podcast titled Wagons and Warpaths. It is a weekly Buffalo sports talk podcast focusing on the Buffalo Bills and or the Buffalo Sabres. More Bills than Sabres as of late with how this COVID sports world has gone. You can find that podcast on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher. Search for Wagons and Warpaths. Find me on Twitter at Wagons_Warpaths. The podcast email address is wagonsandwarpaths@gmail.com. Feel free to @ me on Twitter, DM me, email me, carrier pigeon, smoke signal, candygrams, candied yams, holograms. Yeah, Cameron Grams. All kinds of stuff like that.
Instagrams, Camerongrams.
Bo Ballas.
And you can find this person that can't speak a shred of English over on Twitter at Dits on Wrestling. Like we said, get amongst the chat. These will always be the pinned tweets on my profile at Dits on Wrestling. So hunt that down, throw your comments in there, let us know what you thought. But again, as I said on Monday's show and the draft, this is more a visual experience than it is just an audio one. So make sure you if you haven't gone to YouTube, just check out YouTube. Just have a skim through it if you've already listened to this on a podcast. But if you are listening to this on YouTube, then hopefully you enjoyed the presentation because it's a little bit different from just listening and looking at a still image. Yes. So we've tried to make this thing unique and its own little thing where it can exist in two places and succeed in its own little ways. So there's that. But of course, there's loads of other things going on Dits on YouTube as well. I do live streaming now twice a week with NXT and SmackDown, and I'm gaining traction on those now. I'm really starting to enjoy doing the live streams now. The awkward phase has now gone. So we're fully into it. And if you are listening to this as on the day it drops, I will see you tonight for a SmackDown live stream.
Oh, nice little plug. Okay.
There you go. So if you just happen to listen to this just before, then just hop over to Dits on YouTube and you'll find me there talking about SmackDown and hopefully in a positive light.
How convenient.
Yeah, and I'll probably be able to compare it and go, I wouldn't do this. This is where I would be on TV if I was booking this shit.
I don't know why they let off with a match instead of the GM address.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Unbelievable.
Unprofessional.
Unbelievable. But there we go. That is us for this week. But do tune in on Monday for Anthony's Night 2 of Monday Night Raw. But until then, I will see you around. Anthony, do you want to just say bye? Actually, I tell you what, you can close the show for the first time since you've been co-host. You go ahead. Say something nice to close things up.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Perfect.